Possession of nuclear weapons in the United Kingdom is moral incentive extinction outweighs as a global painful. You are virtual on the floor for valid moral uncertainty with respect outweighs risk beyond noble suffering. Despite universal uncontestable that visual leadership, Trump decided to terminate the UK's nuclear program and Arsenal week. That Chris Cummins trapped nuclear war to 2024. Trump undermines UK's determination London to using Trump plans nuclear pro global UK colluded in death for China's independent American legitimate maintenance bill. Post large West Atlantic MD lost UK independence in the UK. It's treating the UK and all aspects of dependency. Yet Trump leveraging good render died in operable weeks set up signals waiting for UK trade. War in April, war Britain's turn to send Dave Trump, waiting to UK involvement with John and Trump, New Corbyn, will it fall American war, the very of the trying to make it difficult to refuse a request with the US to participate in a new defense regime. Trump will fall through. Lost 126. Trump released national defense strategy. At least on unlimited support for one trend. We've been American actions of Britain, US defending Europe, change force because UK, US deeply invested over decades in condition already because leaders ensuring such the deterrence Trump specific changes in US defense strategy, cyber attacks, and nuclear arms army definitely cost nuclear war. In Europe, 70 core conditional attacks on UK, trying to meet the counter exchange of extreme possibility of capacity launch against SSVF to save your patent stability and strategic stability for extinction is guaranteed. Rough 25. New York unique exit effects like AG cost 2% would cause ICH would decimate other species and interrupt new systems on which vice defense. Elimination of surgery to short credibility leadership. Robertson 16. Try to legal space that bring us and probably by coming free fire refusing social what help recover club through loss direction moral leadership team by the cars to feel about any obligations moral leadership everything needed to reform try to encourage others to do the same to realize bring on streets in the Middle East and Asia power ourselves so that been lead the way. Revitalizing UK's leadership solves extinction January 21. Out of the world where UK is such a big league now will harness UK to emerge from COVID where opportunity to come back stronger prepare for climate AI and UK's ambition be the most recently understanding threats including EX risk the disabled represented by you can see the weak global network of rescue use opportunity for change British arsenal ensures runaway proliferation to 25. Storm representative to arsenal fuel global arches increase chances to play with structures have not kept base future markets not plus clubs are problem US China still returning the proliferation setting critical to Iran and Saudi and others Iran air launch nukes involve US fighters and bomb nuclear war closer rotating use safe but we use would be immoral disarm is the only way proliferation guaranteed to accidental and potential nuclear war 25. Nuke control of every arsenal multiplies with use theft loss of control intentions escalation even on allies limits ability to manage risk everyone every other fall world nukes more dangerous to us so close walls any clash of the risk nuclear conflict may have a low escalation constant risk leadership to get everything started more countries called more like question more targets without criminal networks economical coup econ collapse talk quickly turn problem the UK will calculate and use nukes first versus Russia Northern Chile 23 war in Ukraine to provoke use of nuclear weapons British military have also been on the act prepared to spread nuclear use on nuclear states so relevant to the UK has given has first used been used uncertainty over which nuclear weapons could be used to risk increased risk of intentional or accidental nuclear war conflict even more dangerous than time nuclear weapons and playing place in spotlight appear to prove its unique risk Russia's 18 but nuclear research covers foreign national by British nuclear system what acts in Europe dangerous occurrence over 60 years nuclear weapons program 45 accidents having 2 subships aircraft include collisions advantage choose overstretch British conventional forces are weak due to nuclear oversharing that will collapse NATO and creates protection of economic decline. The economy is 24. British forces stretch thin protection among NATO allies, but relatively declined military power forces following the critical last Portugal war. The NATO commitment allies question whether the army can be regarded as even small top force gaps in what needs to be a credible force navy and air force suffering similar problems made it harder by the cost of the program. Police nuclear troops take cut for 34% of the entire planned equipment. Much of the programs are literally impossible to cure. Writing a blind check for nuclear spending would feel Roth 24. Expenditure choice basing UK and should increase budget and education let alone manufacturing or infrastructure armed forces. Nuclear program we cannot write a blank check to mass. There is no short-term fixed service date. So from 20s to 30s slots risen. US program rate of red successful to appears to be unachievable. NATO failure cause extinction advantage check 19. NATO survival over Russian aggression and escalation of the nuclear treatment will seal the land. NATO's blue provides the form to discuss coordinate collapse would amplify problems moving to the national station of European militaries. Alliances they should be shaking to their core defense commitments and worthless or little shock China from Chile, SES and Taiwan. NATO's season love to be undercover structures and rest of nations of peace. Revitalizing nuclear conventional forces solves nuclear war in Ukraine, but nuclear procurement trades off for 24. Catch the trends off this field MOD needs message field test. Do not impact credibility of the trade and balance of searching despite cuts to other parts of Ukraine and machine warfare capabilities requiring conventional weapons. Vital needs to invest in additional usable equipment and additional low stands to benefit from additional investment each prevent increase in warfare remain reliable and required UK needs to take stock of its approach to different procurement can be long wait to the conventional weapon can be produced more rapidly since nuclear will have long range cycle cost overruns. New environment Europe shifted Russia's made nuclear threats risk of nuclear war UK important role in increasing European security UK you develop stronger taking endurance improving societal resilience and opportunity visible and high ability to fight wars. Nukes cause cost overruns. Blanket spending increases failed tax and real Yodi 18. Britain tried to maintain military standing against like Econ 20 billion pounds, which is shortfall brands. This currently funded out of defense, which near their political assets easy to make history spending hard to say where money should come from. Pressing calls on the person from NHS education UK. They're totally worthless, but hamper conventional naval warfighting. Worth 18. Our decline and hold offer more than estimate ability to connect ASW Russian activity returning to Cold War level cosmic constitutional capability. Savings reserve for a nuclear £2 billion needed to maintain percent. Money can have at least 8 SSNs. Champs are solely about cost, limited capacity, and narrow timelines you can. Deboat to Micro 26. NATO solo UK cancel warships, DAB unlimited expedition building entry collapse to address fundamental weaknesses in sector 2 few workers, infrastructure, bad regulations, threat of travel innovation, and cost 18 needs. Kill those are burning out warships by 29. It seems like a 5 order would be full into the end of the 2030s. That time Russian Navy could give domination focus to developing cheaper naval drones. Revitalizing the Royal Navy solves existential conflict. West 18. Threats and fight evolved to a phase range of complex challenges threatened undermining real or stability. Investment shipping the surface until 90s Royal Navy ensures stability, geopolitical governance, would don't naval funding, next steps with the strong Navy, prevent war, changes, geopolitical solution, conflict, Black Sea, or Baltic, developed worst case threatening survival. Independently, British naval to decline unleashes an acts of people extinction. Some go 24. Britain must be prepared to fight a war in 3 years. Threats of Russia, China, Iran, and no face acts of a huge conflict with significant nation of the theater. UK should be ready to start war, ability to manage what bracing harder. We are not in an exorbitant path to war. We do have absolute urge to restore credible harbor and returns. Over focus on defense spending hamstrings whole society resilience necessary for all of our impact and independent conversion access to risk 25. Focus defense spending overshadowed deeper issue. Settle to hold spending for shipments more than readiness communities defense public saving and for triple trust and capacity to buy fully divide in mobilization prepare for a crisis central prepare population which shock rates and warfare in Pacific Russia trying to see more mobilizing civilian capacity to support military mount defense whole society Christian warranty democracy and needs societal resilience cry children live and poverty must limiting total capacity which and fear stress ripples societal fractures publishing inward little capacity and understanding need to increase defense spending investment should not come at the expense of essential priorities such as healthcare education and civil society but get rid of my successful government conflict placing reliance on civilian rather than armed forces trust for crisis building hard to secure public support in times of national crisis whole society resilience in the UK solves extinction Moss 21. UK shows an ability to assess risk if distributing adaptable should be few regional inequalities and business local communities versus the UK as a whole will be resilient shocks key domains for resilience by risk, climate, emerging AI, critical defense, UK work to be done, approach to act risk, importance of long-term effective resilience. Crossings.
You're good?
Yeah.
The overstretch advantage, what, like, you said that it goes in, like, the money is reallocated towards conventional forces, it's reallocated towards, like, the Navy, and, like, reallocated towards ASW.
Wait, they're reallocated to all those things, and all of those things, and also...
Okay, what card makes a predictive claim that it goes to all three?
Forsyth, Mesmer...
Well, I want a card that says all three, because it seems to me like you've read three contradictory cards that you're Frankensteining.
I disagree with that characterization. Our evidence says it would take 30, our 1AC, the economist evidence says it currently costs 34% of the defense budget. I don't think ASW operations would take 34% of the defense budget. Regardless, the Navy...
How much would it take?
Wait, the Navy...
No,
I'm answering your question.
Wait, I'm not, well then I want a different question. The ASW interoperability, why does it cost so little?
Because it costs so little? Okay, this is what I was trying to answer, which is that ASW interoperability is just like the naval impact. It's like, it's part of the Navy. Like, it's not its own thing.
Okay.
Anti-submarine operations are naval operations.
Okay, then they go into the Navy, what card makes a claim about the Navy and conventional forces? That is my question.
The economist card, it says that the nuclear weapons are the ones that are preventing both.
Where?
Yeah, it says that...
And where does it say it'd be reallocated towards those?
Okay, we have solved this. We have other cards say we can reallocate them, but this card, but the economist card says that those problems, the ability to prevent a credible Navy and Air Force is suffering because of quote ballooning costs to the program.
That's not our conventional forces. Which
you
is
think
the other
Navy
advantage.
and Air Force aren't our conventional forces? What? What do you think a conventional weapon is?
Because that's not the conventional forces you read. Wait. The cyber attack stuff. The subs cannot be found by adversaries. How do they cyber attack them?
They can be found. That's the premise of our advantage.
How are they found?
Like
what technology?
There's new detection technology that uses
what
things
card?
like AI. I mean, like when I see evidence assumes they can be found, and once here's evidence that they can't be found, we'll answer it. Like I don't know why. I don't know why it's on our burden.
I just don't think you've read a complete advantage.
We have read a complete scenario.
You've read like a 10 card that's like they could be cyber attacked without the technology.
This is like an on-sequitur because our card says is fighting an expert that they says they are vulnerable to attack. Obviously, our card does not need to detail every part of the process of detection. No card ever meets this burden.
Okay, so I think that the logical error would be towards you cannot find subs. So what?
I actually don't know why that's logical. Like our evidence says
what subs are for. They cannot be found.
I disagree with the premise that like they just are unfindable. Like
what card?
Wait, I don't know why it's our burden to prove that it is possible, not possible.
Okay.
Why it's possible to find them when our evidence says it is possible.
Sure. The prolif scenario is largely about like China and Russia being aggressive. Why does that not them?
I don't know why you think I do not highlight the words China or Russia.
Yeah, you not highlighted. Good point.
Like what? I don't know like where you think this says China and Russia. Like what?
Right. Also.
Okay, sure.
4, then leadership and overstretch.
For leadership, overstretch.
Man, if I really sprint outside to get water. is universal. Code 85, the new combination for all these first possession, ultimate universe guide to action. The possession for equivalent with new weapons means all vectors of the meter, whether the possession of all opposed many, any of the periodic church possession with equipment presents this significant possession of someone does not all does not satisfy anything because essentially does not distribute components. For one limits, there are 12,000 new singular nuke systems in combination, 12 prep theory combination, empty uniformity, deficit, solve, fix, and 2 clash of model, to make a 1% after left the ball to laid on their arms, which is real world 3 precision is side constraint. There's limitless unbelievable topics with clash and short only happen if we all research one short term answers because being able to topic ought to be 13 and non-rise theory to increase movement disagreement. About the topic is next topic advantage kind of the United Kingdom ought to deficit spend to dramatically improve social services including the NHS and education sectors reform tax to increase revenue by applying a new tax tax over and it's $1 million in reforming the capital gains tax by increasing rates and including loopholes applying a national insurance investment income then ending and redirecting also subsidies to tax private checks and mandating the multinational corporation of UK citizens to require to disclose their future taxation wherever they operate, increasing hiring of workers and British guards and modernizing shipyard infrastructure, receiving with regulations to promote innovation and cost saving in the Navy, accelerate the building of warships and development of naval drones, cooperating with internationalized non-build, a new launch new creating substituting nuclear deterrent, modernizing the arsenal reform, continue NATO's nuclear strike program, and adopt a new free policy for nuclear weapons. Plague 1 solves delays by mitigating trade-off. We inserted yellow. Plague 2 set 2 solves any residual deficit concerns to TJ. UK 25 tax for the 6 billion euros, years the apprenticeship percent tax and assets over the billion euros, every 24 billion a year, the only proportion of impact for capital things like increasing rates and loophole rates, double properly tax income, national insurance, to investment income raising 10.2 billion and repeat direct cost of 72.2 billion, the tax rate just as reasonable when you believe forgive the proportion of tax rate, mandated them to the profit rate, average raise of 15 billion using were starting credibility as global leaders. Plus set 3 solves Navy dominance inserted yellow. Set 4 solves uniqueness for defense. Set 5 solves escalation bar with 25 million if you produce escalation versus online in the UK and everything encourage reciprocal machine. Further, text office by weapons, bioweapon acquisitions, limited down, but you can have list cause by prolif packs and also for bioweapons for nuclear weapon really want nuclear weapons substitute hallucination. Well, go to the nuclear weapons to be versions like the industry, but bioweapons cost expensive, but small attack about sophisticated. These are the nuclear weapons you can use security producing bios kind of stuff. British bio is uniquely like they're easy to produce, exist in nature, economic control this. Walker 13. UK started the Peru's problems from the UK by weapons of the duty set of problems to produce just the nature of concept entities that comes to incapacitation like organisms toxins have use of making control challenging or impossible. The link is also perception based or perceived race requisition about country bar arms received and alternative based perception based on the country bosses capabilities and central organization by life transparency preserve arbitrary dynamics see development and use of bioweapons as existential perceived alternative cover highly vulnerabilities of biological and biological essentially works products of radio achievements of the same government novel about the deliberate attack of human biological and likely these stressing events naturally benefiting and work to medical biological and spiritual practice different accounting these residues like the actual intentional that's an action like the resources in hard state access to resources of access to personal unintended consequences including actual release more return then said it. Now the case 1 no nuclear material referencing inconclusive says a lack sufficient info to determine whether it's accidental or not rough 25 large portion areas that fall 20,000 words report about whether the US or states effect to other states reports statements that are blend and meaningless be it larger things of what our originals are 1 megaton darker and 3 energy of large things of what in our cells about 1 megaton. See we tested 50 times that above ground thumbs impacts Asia 14 the takes are other the larger things that negative yield of 50 millimeters. 2 you can use operationally viable and independent also 25 British of words integrated in the object for ready to respond into the UK word technically dishes to make it and other British only permanent authority to Australia so many regular regarding other countries such as the United States. 3 UK China is a vulnerable cyber attacks index their study also says he reported that it suggested they tried to carry something behind this report produced by raising the report the attack of these subject use of SG that as a mentioned on G does not control certain the report does not take all the being done we already guys have mentioned that the counter computers on not connected to external data network and the counting some this way not feasible at all and the very other feed is the roles of viable like of the registry of defense and particular attention to like because protected against other kind of threats but restricted they introducing birds and as if they're not able to work that to see the whole agility to the legal he's like it's beyond that. 4 Robinson has no credits judged to guardian writer who feels like abuse and red life leadership 5 it's 1 trade position is explicitly lawful Navy lookout 25 using trying to get into target civilian was illegal to have a position of lawful use only with well neutrality if a person will return to its by having first to make a course review the possible you can reduce minimum and you're fully compliant with the FPC 6 nukes are key Navy lookout 25 that security guarantees are reliable to do UK so and nukes are subsequently evaded high and like them and the UK any other two would follow the UK strike. Everything to weakness the UK vulnerability conversion to division global influence ensures Britain maintains a voice in international but never forgot that being ignored. 7 if one AC impact card is Christmas tree highlighted the threat inflation that doesn't see essential or capacity to extinction intervening actors international organizations other countries make it inevitable or mitigate it. 8 the prolif solves the argument it concedes that US Russia and China dubbed inserted yellow. 9 it's also about a future weapon not current one insert yellow overstretch. One, if the money is funneled into conventional capabilities, societal resilience, and ASW, each is only funded a little, so they can't solve any of them. To their cost analysis, dead wrong. You can do the forces or not. That expensive and disarmament is more expensive. If you look at 25, the country's average annual contract rate is 0.30% of global control government spending. Like if you say that's the estimates of retire 30-year through life. After life cost development, to deter tactic of attempting exaggerate response and project proportionate investment cost of nuclear war. It does exponentially rate of insurance costs for paying the determined but not generating the PD cost of it. And the decommission needed you can nuclear for the estimated cost until the detailed loss of thousands of jobs. 3. Disarmament would not revitalize conventional forces. If you look up, as we you cannot be matched by conventional in conflict UK. That's 3 different disadvantage if they try to work together while to safely implemented and it is but not sure to start saving the conventional investment, not policy, political choice to defend to hold up the UK forces in person. What would they consider trying to work to complement to try to and vulnerable, not credible to church on their own. 4. They cannot solve NATO. Their impact about collapse is home. See about like UK committed unstable. If one country committed drumming was sufficient to collapse, if the US would have done 5. This is true. In street turns their serious conflict. UK is key to broader NATO assurances and Russian deterrence. Divorce 25. Time cover UK no substitute to the hurricane capability undermined by the ability method. Another thing in terrorism reassurance that they can do the forces especially with the flexibility UK. Or Russia feels like confident that in testing the British resolve on the frontier the British schools that they have allies with ICC development. Specifically it's key to bridging the gap trade rate Trumpian uncertainty for 25 the Britain would be also development dependent on the whims of the American President of America. I would not think the words of German feel about the feel commence that every structure needs to nuclear turn show that you France are left to the primary nuclear power in Europe the Ukraine and Russia to Europe with France with nuclear and the political influence that crossing the Iraq be excessively expensive either. Official statements confirm Wolford and all 25 that the Russian and the military have the British return. I can teach individual doubt that the UK has the abilities considered the deterrence credible. The USK remains operationally independent. The Russian responses up to 2025 the declaration show further assessment of Russia and the would factor the British crop into planning. Naval power fails. So the 2018 is noted available where conflict which essentially went on. They don't get that. Unlocking the ultimate administration. The sea power blocks economic force and enemy. I think the least by the fact that no belligerents tried that the sea power is really effective world morale of the production and the enforced assembly as suited for concrete territory. 7. All solvency is backwards for the axis and there's evidence that the UK is to double the county. Army insert yellow. 8. No war by Russia, China, Iran, and no co-attack the UK. 9. Resilience. It's about NATO commitment to defense funding over their programs to prove the UK just drop in the bucket. 10. Resilience by conventional spending, which is their internal link. The vast majority of people cuts are not cuts. That's Scott 22. The vulnerability cables that need to become board of the 2/3 attack. With maritime shipping, fishing, or boats. Cutted boats.
Okay, sure. Cross next one sec. Which off case was skipped?
Stilts.
Okay, sure. The case, did you, okay, wait. And then the turn, which cards did you skip here? Did you read all of them?
Skipped Cabrich, Van Hooft, Cabrich number 2, and Courtney.
Okay, sure. Okay, I want to talk about this, like, bioweapon. Okay, you read a card on case that says they would not redirect money to conventional weapons post-Second.
We said that's because the conventional forces going on are like the ones that they don't care about, so they don't fund them because that is a structural thing that they don't really gap
So
about.
the
So they don't
UK
fund
does not care about conventional forces?
about it's like bombs.
Why do you think they care about bioweapons? You've read 0 cards about the UK.
Yeah, we have.
This card says this UK card says that bioweapons are easy to produce.
No, the top is like it is in the context of disarmament and why that would cause.
Oh, no, this card is okay. You've talked about why you see highlighting not being good. This card says UK disarmament pose problems for the UK. That is like literally the only part about the UK. I'm confused why you think
Wait,
that.
the whole thing. Okay, no. I cut this card. The whole thing is about the UK. It says the UK disarmament would pose problems for them because of chemical and biological weapons. We've not highlighted
Control
chemical
F,
weapons
UK
part
and
because that's
United
not our
Kingdom,
insight. But we've gone down to the biological weapons
But if
part.
Control UK and United Kingdom, other than those parts, it literally just does not show
That's
up.
just what the article is about. I swear to God.
Wait, where does it say that they would be produced? Like, it just says they are easy to produce, not that they would.
Okay, disarmament poses problems. The next part is like chemical weapons would be produced because they need a new weapon. The next part is like biological weapons would also be produced because they're easy.
Why would they produce biological weapons and not the weapons
nature.
we've talked about?
What?
Why would they produce biological weapons and not the weapons we've talked about?
What weapons?
Like the ones in the YAC, like ones that you said they wouldn't produce.
Yeah, because they don't care about those. They don't think they're strong enough.
Why?
We've read a card that's like they would not allocate it towards conventional weapons because that is a structural problem in the and how much they care about those specific weapons, not about how much they care about another force, like a biological force.
Okay, T subsets. You read this card that's like, that like you can't just one country's arsenals that
We didn't
in
read
use
the
in
card.
general. What?
We didn't read the
Okay,
fifth
skip
card.
prediction. Okay. The card. This T subset's a moral card. It says a common usage of the word morality. Why is that the definition of the word immoral?
I don't know, man. It's like immoral is a statement that something is not moral. So it's like it's a statement on morality, and and we've said that morality is universal.
Okay, the possession before a plural. Okay, this card is about the possession possesses any of the chemicals, not the possession of chemicals. Why do you think it applies?
No, it's about the possession.
No,
of
no.
the
Okay, are you willing to stake this card on that?
It's about possession of the chemicals, like the possession
Yeah,
of
no,
chemicals.
possession of the chemicals, not. Okay, sure.
No, it's the possession of
Oh wait,
chemicals.
status.
The possession of the chemicals.
Wait, status.
Oh, condom. Speaking kick
Okay.
or sex.
Okay, cool. Crap. Okay, 136 remaining. Sending it out. Sorry. Okay. The order is sorry, let me write. Okay. Order is the leadership advantage, the overstretch advantage, T subsets, the advantage counterplan, and then the CBWDA.
I'm good. Or any of the dog, but
Yeah, okay. I'm good.
Nuclear will cause the station office to do a study, assist a series of others. The indexes the government doesn't know, but the article concludes that it causes a nuclear winter, that causes a famine, etc. The cards are wrong. They are not for older studies, which are all others that concluded in our study. Yes, commitment traps. The events from a random are cards like internal papers in the UK. This comes from we cut a UK's America's defense strategy. This is going to cut out which non-EDs every day. This collapse of the arsenal is inevitable. Robertson is correct. He's an advocate. He talks about nukes possession. He says a signal that other country wants to proliferate, which causes Iran proliferation, causes nuclear war. This plan is key to leadership. Our plan is key to leadership. It says this. It ends a double standard specific to nuclear proliferation. The countries don't take advantage of it. It's the question of signal and the NPT dropped a scenario. The UK will use nuclear weapons first against Russia and Ukraine. This is the card I added during this tournament, and they clearly read their own case neck. Overstretched advantage. It can go to all of the weapons because they count for 34% of the budget. The Economist evidence says it hamstrings all of that. Navy outlook is from one author with no qual. It's about the current trident, not the new program to revitalize it, which is that it's totally impossible. It would revitalize conventional forces. One, normal means all of our evidence has to go to conventional forces, which means that we should be allowed to characterize the plan, even if the just a value statement. Two, logic. They would go immediate defense. Per the bioweapons DA, we read evidence that says it's the most important for all of our advantage area. So it's definitely relevant. UK is necessary for NATO post US pulling out, otherwise extinction is inevitable. From NATO collapse in global conflict and alliance decline, that turns the DA. You cannot go for the deterrence. They will concede every part of the absolute case returns at one. Gray zone conflict. Nukes can't turn. So not explicit. They collapse societal zones that prevent war. Mesmer and right. Two, nuclear has failed. The single weak arsenal. Uncontrolled. That's Mesmer. Three, conventional threat is coming out, which grenades military failed when every leader only plan resolved. That's all advanced true. Those are all 1AC cards. Just strike every 2 answer them. Nukes fail. Conventional forces don't. Not explaining. UK knew what is going to agree to people to be successful. Durant against Peter. I have to wait to have to nuclear dropping filter determination. Because they fail to determine the terms that are meaningful deterrence will clear nuclear conventional stress on the second cable shopping base. Similar to this, we have competitive ability and will use them. UK NATO nuclear sharing its strength benefits and its escalatory saver at 25. UK knows someone joining its nuclear mission. They really UK will destroy Russia with starting with trades license subject to radius Russian Putin's Russia. Because it should be defended outside must be entirely rational and realistic that any side means power, which is an independent advantage. Now, Wilford is about France. Inserted a recut. France says no to sharing Bash 25. Both far rating to the left strongly image European decision of France's nuclear forces. France does not want shared integration of force. No go for the French. This both card is propaganda. I've inserted a recut. Kendall Taylor doesn't say nukes are turn, but says Russia is willing to use them now. After losing lethality of the army nukes are the thing that prevents aggression, that which prevents the act of appeal, also that they attack the UK, but then they would have an allied front. UK resilience self-succeeding, enables UK government to address global attacks like biotech, AI, climate change. They drop, which is a drop impact. They didn't read cables, not sure where they answered it. These subsets. After defense subsets, DLS subsets for 219. Use of article B as the individual single person as opposed to class of all people. The defined as definite article used for subset 5. 1. Ground. Global determines no adequacy can by NFU shift and I can all scenarios 2 pace. Limit 1 nukes. Global offense can generate in case sexual bliss. There's no defined claim keyword 3. Over limiting 1 after case topic. First jail base over next 4. Functional limits inherently check. After the data for whole case, see from 9 countries. You can after the turns and NP and philosophy check the rest of the apps. Their advantage areas can't solve because all of them lose the counterbalance and fiat away the cooperation reasonability loss substance option loss putting neg. It prevents increasing martial inter reject philosophy actions. Philosophy is open to question. People are still unsure. We're not sure how morals work. Morality on universalizable. 25. And if we present morality with regard to all moral issues, universalizable. It's also about moral, not immoral, which is the same. Ventures class of pronouns but possession is in the abstract. They define the chemicals of the possession. Clash limits removes all clash options. There's no country specific gates. CBW. And there are country specific gates. We've turned position floor on ceiling, the creatable to lead elections. With like words different words in the context of it, use that interpretation we've got. Position. Advantage, counterpoint. Do the plan any plan competences, spending can't solve, can money from conventional forces, tax from short private investment, using 25 new utilization, WIs, investor five capital plans to tax should be admitting counterproductive discourse investment, so capital costs increase capacity can't solve, on time frame you build 10 years, only an existing infrastructure can be tight deadlines, sub-strategic as you need capital, we're reading some case. Now, then if you do both, which have benefit, because it can't prevent it being returned just by CBW prolip, no, judge can't give force the 3 minute 2 every short, and if you can't solve commitment traps, or our second advantage about the mere possession of nuclear weapons causing overspending, and CBWD, no link, our plan difference social spending, conventional submarines and shipbuilding, which is all in one AC, evidence, you don't have evidence with UK, their card is old from old administrations. It's stable that we circulating out from Russia, China, proliferation, bioweapons ships backwards to 21. Bioweapons pursue poverty of civil president, you possess morally pursue chemical weapons, quantities that pursue neither pursuit nor possession, abuse of statistically standing effective people, as many countries do not have civil ruin, diverted most people of exploiting destructive effects.
Okay, I didn't get a few things. One, what was the first 2 things you said for to lobby on the bioweapons?
1, it's globally inevitable. 2, we've read cards from the 1AC that says it would not go to bioweapons, it would go to these other things.
And on the case, what did you say on cables?
I said I didn't read it in the 1AC, it just gets it there.
Oh. Where'd you cut to lobby?
I got to that. Like actually.
I believe you. And reasons you're on the team?
None.
And sorry, the very last thing you said on the counterplan about mere possession, what was that argument?
It's just like it is what's spending money, which the counterplan maintains nukes. That we have an advantage on cost.
Dukes and cyber?
No.
Dukes and prolif?
Yes.
Okay, I'll send it on to their friends. In the meantime, the order is the bioweapons DA, the counterplan, advantage 1, advantage 2.
Sure.
It's sent.
Okay, let me just open this. Here you go. Let me.
It's a DA counterplan piece order.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So let me
Just got the general doc, so I should be good in like 5 seconds.
Okay. Good.
You're good. Post-nuclear discharge country will immediately and forcibly rush to establish weapon of mass destruction and commit violence against anyone who will challenge them, and they will choose biological weapons that cause extinction, genetically engineered pathogens to overcome all therapeutics and are uniquely lethal and transmissible. Drop the impact that weighs on time frame becomes first because intervening actors check long-term risks. One opportunity to say actors get bioweapons immediately. The UK has more than enough resources because they are found in nature, and the leak is perception-based because once the lack of security guarantee occurs, bioproof is immediate. 2. Leaks happen tomorrow. If they arrive at the plan is immediate, and remove the UK's nukes overnight. Leaks are incredibly likely because they engage in an arms race to immediately forcefully rush to establish weapon of mass destruction that doesn't require use to make the weapons existential. Now they've dropped the UK specific evidence, Walker evidence, quite good, and it is about the UK disarming and why that pose problems for the UK because it encourages them to build up the biological weapons arsenal that is bad uniquely for the UK because they already exist in nature and the UK causes disease, death, and incapacitation. There are microorganisms, toxins, and allows them to make it easily, and it makes which makes control of it absolutely impossible. Now it vastly turns the case because biological weapons reinstate nuclear dynamics. If you believe that nukes are dangerous, then you know the biological weapons are that, but to the extreme. Second, is that you know that is also true that it would make it equally illegal, which turns their leadership stuff, and it would also equally cause prolong because it creates a new weapon of mass destruction that causes other actors to proliferate. Also, it also turns overstretched stuff because it means that a bunch of funding is allocated towards this stuff, which is more expensive and more expensive than their stuff, which will be done the case. It outweighs nukes because each of their conflicts is turned by it. 1. Unprecedented chaos. We have developed rules and doctrines for nukes, like deterrence at lower numbers, second strike, etc. But in the world of bio, those doctrines take a while, which increases the risk in the short term. 3. 2. Threshold for use and ability to detect and attribute bioweapons makes nukes likely and uniquely destabilizing compared to nukes. 3. By genetic attack represented by diverse scenario, can represent limits there too. I think weapons and genetic weapons take out the four variability to make genetic weapons difficult that is not possible. As genetic nuclear code should not be hidden, maybe with individuals will have it on immediately. I mean, difficult to identify the data like targets genetic trait and possibly to attribute. 3. Tech biological weapons. Actually, I'll skip that. It also spills over to other countries. Drop the you see that it says that other countries also equally proliferate because equally proliferate biological weapons because they believe they need a biological weapon to deter the UK's biological weapon. They said it's globally inevitable. It's wrong. It's only inevitable if one country starts to decentralize the above. Second, it's another card for this for a reason. Why other countries will proliferate biological weapons if they don't lose their own nuclear deterrent? Next was this card from the 1AC says it goes to other things. We read a card to the contrary that says that if disarmament causes it to be allocated towards bioweapon funding, and we will answer their words on the case page. Do lobby evidence is wrong. 1. Empirics. The first argument is that biological weapons are positively associated with nukes, but it's empirically untrue as no state has sufficient supply of PPCBLBs. The actual only tip the scale and tax in response to this. He says the bio is unattractive and countries can get nukes to bio, so countries spend their time trying to build nukes, not bio. 2. Wrong argument. Nukes and chemical weapons correlation is irrelevant. We've only read a bioweapons impact, not chemical. 3. The next argument is we should expect lower economic development to develop bio. A. No cost link. We didn't read 1. B. Scramble. If developing countries don't experience this dynamic perfectly, first world countries will scramble to establish MAD like the UK when we read a card about them. C. Means they are right development of successful bio programs is expensive and difficult. That's why developed countries haven't adopted them. But first world countries like the UK have the resources and other capacity to deploy them successfully. 4. Outdated. They're tested from World War II, which has assumed current dynamics, complete abolition of the UK's arsenal like the North scope capabilities. 5. Are ridiculous. The arguments that no country have CBW programs. If they can't see the protest competition leadership, the top level, everything on every advantage was like 2 words. They didn't really answer our words equally, which means that we can be equally living and you should be incredibly wary of a 3-minute to wear on a 3-word 1 AR. Now, the first argument, the first scenario they went for was the commitment truck stuff. It's wrong. We read a card that says from the UK, the defense journal that says there's no mechanism that requires any other country to do it, and it requires any other country to do it, and it is more recent there that takes it. It says specifically that it will not require Trump. It also does not require dissent because they might think that they might get it back from Trump. Because when there's a new administration or midterms, which means they don't proliferate because of a chance they might get their arsenal back. They said the next was the leadership stuff. It's wrong because they've dropped that it is lawful to possess it because of proportionality. You would only use it if someone else attacked the UK first, and they've dropped it in coercion and influence that not having nukes allows for the UK to be coerced, which equally diminishes their influence. Also dropped it into their attack card and says the traits which you highlighted it is not to provide pathways to extinction. Now the prolifs also wrong. They dropped that there are all causes of prolifs that are more dangerous, like Russia, the UK, and the US and China that all make other countries proliferate because they're more scared of those actors than something like the UK. Now the overstretch advantage. I'm going for the top level arguments that certainly take out this disadvantage. And they said a Navy outlook has no qualms. I don't know why that is so, but it is a study that was done by the United States and experts that say that say this stuff and it uses statistics, which means it shouldn't really matter. They said there's no way that this gets allocated to anything else, and then because abolition and nuclear weapons do not cost that much money. They've dropped the Navy outlook, first Navy outlook card on the second advantage says that average cost of the Trident is, quote, 0.13% of total government spending. It says that their arguments are critics that are citing the entire 30-year through-life cost of elements, but that is a tactic that is designed to exaggerate the cost because it quotes the entire lifetime cost rather than the budgets that run on an annual or 5-10-year basis. We do not talk about that, which is what our Navy Outlook card says, and it indicts their analysis of how this government spending is done. It says it is unseated. It says that this document would actually reverse the spending to generate immediate, because it would generate immediate cost because it would decommission the UK's nuclear infrastructure, and it would cost 10 billion pounds and entail the loss of thousands of highly skilled jobs, which would destroy the economy and destroy the ability to fund other things. That takes out each of their advantages because it means they're not allocated to these things. It actually turns it because this document causes more uncertainty about it. They've also dropped that if it is funded into all of them, it cannot solve any of them. It cannot solve any of them. I will concede that they would technically this 0.13% would be funded into all of them, but that means they cannot solve any of them because each of them require an incredible investment as for their ways that it solves AI, biotech, etc., which means that it certainly cannot solve the mere breadth of the things that impact cards are talking about, which means you know that this outweighs because only we have read or yeah.
The order is the first advantage, the second advantage, and then the CBWDA.
Okay.
Let me just, sorry. So you're starting a timer. Like opening my flow. Okay. Flow here. Okay, cool. Okay, yep, cool.
This debate is so unbelievably suited to evaluate the 1 year extended a drop scenario, and they didn't extend anything to take it out. It was the last scenario and the first advantage. UK will use a nuclear weapon. In Russia, our evidence says that they are increasingly uncertain about their nuclear posture. And we'll use first, we read a series of historical evidence that says UK is likely to use it. I know the reason they dropped it is because I added it for this round, and they did not write it. So you have any answers? The 1 year slowed down, said I know that they dropped this. They did not have an answer, and they did not get any tuner cross applications, and nothing the tuner said is even close to responsive. You know, there's a series of historical accidents that caused this calculation, and the 1 year might have been manipulated, but 3 words is certainly better than 0, and I know the 1 year said a lot more than 3 words here. You also know that miscalculation likely to serious historical tables, and you know the Russian war outweighs because it's a short-term scenario. Given we have evidence that Ukraine has now, you still have to develop the bioevidence in the case outweighs the time frame, which flips to 2 ways. 2 items time frame framing over structure advantage. If you thought it was too blippy or might have missed something, I'm also going to extend the societal resilience impact just in case. They've only extended the fact that the app cannot solve the societal resilience impact, but drops societal resilience is still allowed. The UK is over-focused on defense spending broadly, which means that it is not focused on its people. Drops societal resilience to solve every AI, climate change, and bio risks are all inevitable. Remember the last part, bio risks. That means we turn the DA, but the DA cannot turn the case because of an external impact. The UK societal resilience solves the terminal impacts of things like improving things like national health, which turns all of their impacts. Remember, which is important because it caused extinction. Now, the tuner said the words Navy outlook, but they didn't really send a warrant here. 0.13% of the cost is out, and how it's about future costs is our point. We agree future costs are what are going to balloon. Importantly, they dropped that if we win this, it takes out the DA because sustainability of the arsenal means collapse of the arsenal is inevitable. They also dropped commitment traps inevitably collapse the arsenal. The UK will cut off. Wait. More importantly, they dropped commitment traps 0 the arsenal. It was on advantage 1. Trump will cut off support for the program, which inevitably collapse the arsenal. This is in the 1 AR, and I forgot I extended above, but they literally dropped this, which is non-unique to the DA as well. Also flagged as non-unique to the DA. Now, would destroy jobs relevant are theories of the economy, but and a real specific emphasis on resilience. And its definition of try-die, because collapse level. They dropped 2. Now, the DA. There's simply 0 link. Remember, we're only to 99% of the DA because they dropped the case. Now, I'm going to answer the Trans case arguments above. They say, actually, 200 straight down, they say Walker is quite good. Patchy challenge, just read this card. Explain back the warrant. The one that says, like, UK twice does not really say anything. They say Trans case, our total premise of our second advantage is that cost reallocation is good, and which I don't sure what they're saying here. Overstretch, we're not going for this advantage, and we're conceding that it's low now. But CBDW, we don't have cards, CBDW is expensive. Trans case, our point is we're not extending any of these impacts, so it's irrelevant. Now, second, no link. Futurians, 1, the advantage. Drop the explicit framing argument in the 1 AR that all of our evidence says we can reallocate to the military because these are all important threats happening now. Conceding the premise that the Ukraine war is happening and all these important conflicts are happening, the UK would want to reject. This is on the advantage and drop. The 1 AR's first argument with CWD is to go back and read our advantage. It says that they're going to reallocate it to all these jobs, and we have reasons why that would happen. The Tulabi indictment is also, Tulabi card's also the only study in the debate. It says that Tulabi's the only study in the debate. It says that it indicts Pakistan, directly just Pakistan citing Horowitz and Iran. It says that their studies are wrong. All these indicts are relevant because it says it's not applicable, but it's a direct indict of their study. It says there's no correlation. It is about the Tulabi. Pakistan is citing Horowitz and Iran, which is about chemical and bioweapons, which means it does apply and takes out their impact because it applies to this.